Yeah, audio seems good. And start time right now. All right, so this is Castlevania. I'll try to explain as much as I can with as short of a run as it is. So on this stage, I am trying to get a stopwatch drop so I can do a faster bat boost on the next screen, but it's not exactly RNG, but it's pretty frame specific on how you get the drop. So the likelihood of me actually getting it's pretty low. Okay, well. So now I have to do the faster boost, which requires me to activate the stopwatch on a specific frame. And if I don't, I lose like 3 seconds. I don't know if that worked. That did not work. Okay. So the idea is to activate the stopwatch before he spawns so you can do a faster boost here.
Very nice.
So here I am just gonna get the axe instead of keep the stopwatch. Normally you'd keep the stopwatch, but okay, cool.
Nice. Nice. So that was pretty perfect, right?
Yep.
Very nice.
That whip buffer I did there was to set up a certain pattern for the boss fight so that he swoops down faster. Yeah, I just took the axe for safety's sake, because if you fail the crit with the stopwatch, and it gets a little dicey. So stage 2, there's nothing super crazy going on this stage compared to stage 1. It's just a lot of trying to make sure you don't die, which you shouldn't die. But I died, so.
Wow, I feel like you did that on purpose.
Sure. You can believe that. That works for me. Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes I just walk off that platform. Okay.
You'll be seeing a lot of that throughout the Castlevania block.
Maybe.
Let's hope not.
Mostly with my... We made it that time.
The Castlevania series is very difficult to run, especially the 2D one. You're always one input away from death. It's just very easy to do. And actually in this stage, we're going to see a really cool sequence break here with the damage boost coming up in the next room.
Yeah, so I whip buffer there to get this Medusa to spawn a little bit later so I can get that Medusa boost faster. Now, if I had stopwatch, I would be able to just activate the stopwatch and get under these crushers, but instead I'm going to do a little whip buffer there to manipulate the last crusher so that I don't die to it. It just sets up its pattern differently.
Crowd is just loving these damage boosts, comrade.
So picking up the holy water right now, you'll see a pretty common theme throughout many of the Castlevania games that this is one of the most OP items. And its strength, at least in the NES ones, is that it can stun lock enemies, and you'll be seeing that very soon here.
Yeah, the holy water makes boss fights, well, you know, very difficult.
Very
So not only did Comrade stunlock Medusa there, but also in the beginning of the next stage, he's going to pick up a triple, and he's going to use that triple for quite some time.
Yeah, until I get the cross.
Until you get the cross, then you get the triple for that, too.
There's a lot of sub-weapon swapping in this game.
So for anyone who doesn't know, the Roman numeral thingies tells you how many sub-weapons you can have on screen at any given time.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a faster Fleeman boost there that you have to manipulate one of the Fleemen to give you the right pattern, but sometimes it just doesn't work for reasons. So, but missing that damage boost actually doesn't cost that much time. Like I've lost like a second, so. This is one of the hardest screens in the game.
Comrade, I gotta admit, I haven't seen anything quite like this so far, I have to admit.
So right here, I'm gonna try and manipulate a drop. Okay. Yeah, that's actually frame like specific. It's like if you don't get it, it's not a big deal. I just have to do that room normally. But instead, I just get the potion and walk through everything. And the reason I took the cross is for a glitch against the mummies, which will kill the mummies in one hit, assuming the mummies don't troll me or I don't die on this bridge somehow, which, yeah, it's not looking the best.
Ooh.
Those birds are jerks, but once you know how to manipulate them, it's not too big of a
I'm
deal.
sorry, I'm surprised the bird just sat there for it. It's nice
Yeah,
of him.
sometimes he's a nice guy.
Birds are bro sometimes.
So yeah, that's the mummy fight. You
Wow.
just kill them in one hit. Basically, there's a glitch in this game with overlapping hitboxes where if a sub weapon hits it, it just kind of like bounces the damage back and forth forever. So it's really really useful against the mummies. It can be done on other things, but it's not useful. Okay, so stage 4 is the run killer. I have to whip buffer 3 times here, get this stopwatch, and then hopefully I activate my stopwatch on the right frame, which I don't know, did. And then I activate it again, and I can damage boost into the
Nice.
So there's another reason why this stage is a run killer.
There's an issue with platforms here where if you walk too far to the right, you can actually get stuck on them. So that's what happened there. Unfortunate, but... So now you have to do this screen normally, which is taking this little platform ride here. I mean, at least I can say I got the damage boost. I just, you know, died somehow, mysteriously.
Just take some extra time for some squats.
Yeah.
Keep them legs in shape.
We can call that RNG.
So this screen is another reason why that this stage can be a run killer, because random drops happen at any point. It's a fact we have to get used to as Castlevania speedrunners. Just something you don't want to see, especially going to be fighting Frankenstein's monster coming up, and we need those stuns for that.
Okay, cool.
No axe drop.
Yeah, axe drop is scary because you're pretty much fighting Frankenstein with whip, which I can do, but I can also fail to do it, and you don't want to see that, so. But, yeah, if you haven't noticed, I'm trying to keep my heart count as low as possible, and that's another issue with that screen is it'll just dump big hearts on top of you. But yeah, Frankenstein is about as hard as Medusa, a little bit harder maybe.
Clean.
Comrade, is it all right if I sneak in a donation?
Go for it.
This is a $20 donation from Sushi Elemental. He says, Dr. Acula to the boss room. Dr. Acula, please come to the boss room. Thank you.
So stage 5 casually is probably one of the hardest stages, but because I have holy water, this stage is one of the easier stages. Now, if I get a random drop after this screen, it's gonna be a little spooky because you really need the holy water. And pretty much any one of these enemies that I'm attacking can drop something that I don't want.
How can it get more spooky? It's already got skeletons everywhere.
Yeah, you're right. So there's a way to not take the meat there, but it's not marathon safe at all. So, but yeah, like this room would normally be a pain, but you can actually just damage boost there, and you have just enough iframes to squeeze past that guy. Like I said, it's like speedrunning this stage is probably the most uneventful part of the run. And yeah, these axe boys right here, normally they take 9 hits to kill, but with holy water they just take 1 hit, which is pretty hilarious to me. I don't know if that was intended or if it's a bug, but I don't care.
You can also run right through them too as soon as you stun, which is going to be very nice in this room leading up to death.
Yeah, I try not to do that, just because they can also drop things like daggers and whatnot. And yeah, I can. If I got a troll drop, I could maybe beat death with just whip, but it might take a couple attempts, so I don't think anyone wants to see that. Yeah, this is the infamous, you know, casual killer screen. Yeah, that was pretty difficult. Death Fight is also known for being pretty difficult, but if you have holy water, it's not really an issue at all.
Absolutely no room for error there, and you killed it, comrade. Very nice.
There's a faster way to do that fight, but I wasn't getting it in practice, so I'd rather just not even risk it. So stage 6, start of stage 6, you got a bridge full of bats here, which it's pretty intimidating if you are playing the game for the first time, but once you kind of figure out what their patterns are, it's not too bad.
They just throw this boss rush at you out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's, yeah. So that was probably the second hardest screen in the game. But like I said, yeah, if you know what you're doing, it's not hard.
This part seems tricky, though. You got several damage boosts in a row.
Yeah, it's... The only thing I'm really worried about is killing that skeleton there, because he can drop a cross or a dagger sometimes. Normally I wouldn't take the meat there, but I want to have at least like an extra attempt to crit Dracula, which, yeah, it's going to be the second time we use crits in the run. So the crit against the bat in stage 1 kills it in one hit. Crits against any other boss doesn't kill it in one hit, and Dracula is one of those bosses, but it does deal like 6 points of damage, so you definitely want it. Because normally you only deal 1 point of damage to him. Okay, well, that's not what I wanted. So yeah, basically I'm trying to get hit on the exact same frame that I hit him. And it's certainly easier said than done, because his fireballs have varying speeds at which they come out.
And now time for the Cookie Monster.
So this is another really hard boss in this game, as you can see. I don't think I'm actually going to have enough holy water for this fight, so that's pretty funny. But, oh, okay.
Very
If you know
nice.
what. And time's coming up, time. Well, I got almost all the tricks I wanted. I just died in a couple places somehow. Because of RNG, I think.
You didn't fall victim to the stair boss. I'm impressed.
There's no stair boss in this game. I don't even want to think about stair bosses. And then, yeah, the game gave